Okay, well, I'm Brandi Malarkey, and I'm running for the Fargo Park Board, obviously. And I am a local business, small business owner, an artist, as well as a longtime resident of Fargo. My family and I have benefited from the offerings of the Park District for a very long time, and I'd like to play a part in returning that benefit. To that end, I've been attending meetings of the Fargo Park District for 2.5 years now, and I'm continually impressed by the number of things that they do and the dedication and knowledge of their staff. You know, as Fargo is expanding, the Park District is in a position of trying to maintain its quality services while also meeting demanding needs. And, you know, to try to tackle that, they're looking at a lot of very big pieces right now. They're looking at diversifying funding. They're looking at increasing community communication. They're looking at trying to make an overall master plan of what we want to see. You know, as people ask more and more of the Park District all the time, we want more things, more services, more stuff, but we want to pay less for it. And so diversifying funding is really important. Right now, we are funded primarily on tax dollars and user fees with some grants thrown in. And we're looking at expanding granting opportunities, looking at collaborative, collaborative projects, looking at, right now actually the Fargo Park District Foundation is getting its legs under it, and that's a really interesting opportunity to enhance community ownership of the Park District. I think that a lot of us really agree that being fiscally responsible isn't just about making sure that things are run efficiently, but it's also about trying to find 3 different uses for that same dollar, as well as making sure the dollars are spent on what the community really values, which is why community input is really important. You know, right now, the community, or the communications landscape has actually changed a lot in the last few years, and so people are getting their information from a lot of different sources, and that has a lot of great benefits, but it also leaves room for misunderstandings and gaps in communication, which I think we can see right now with the Lindenwood conversation that's happening. You know, and the Park District is looking to fill some of those gaps by looking at increasing the number of community input meetings that they host, you know, trying to create apps so that it's easier for people to report things that they see while they see it and they're out using the facilities, and that's great. And I think that Park Board members can support those endeavors, but I think that they can also do things individually on their own. For example, be a liaison between the neighborhood associations and the Park District to find out exactly what they're going through and what they're seeing and what they want. You know, for a long time I think Fargo was growing so fast that we were just trying to catch up with it and keep up with it. And now we're still growing, but we're realizing that we need to have a clearer plan of where we're going and what we want that to look like. And you know, each individual piece still needs to be dealt with on its own so that it gets the attention it needs, but we need to have an idea of where we want the community to be and what we want the Park District to look like in 5 years or 10 years or 25 years. You know, and none of these endeavors are really simple things that one person can come in with like the exact right answer that solves all the problems. It takes a team of people working together, and some of the answers will change over time. So for me, I really think that every board, not just the Park Board, but every board benefits from having a multitude of perspectives on it, because then we ask different kinds of questions as we grow. We have a lot of really good perspectives on the Park Board right now, actually. We've got strong fiscal understanding, law background, physical education background. What I would bring to the table is a strong administrative background. I've got a lot of experience running events, managing projects and communications, and working with volunteers. And all of those are also things that the Fargo Park District does every day. You know, we get, I think, a lot of candidates for Park Board through our sports programming, and I think that that's really great, and you can see the benefit those programs have had by having that direct conduit to the board. You know, as an artist myself, I'm very interested in our art programming and different ways to incorporate art in our parks and different ways for the community to interact with our parks, like the FMVA Red River Watercolor Society nature crawl that's planned for this summer. You know, I'm a nature artist in particular, and I'm also a member of the Northern Plains Botanic Garden Society board, and so I'm very interested in our conservation efforts. And for me, when I decided whether or not I would run for Park Board, I asked myself 2 questions. Do I think that I have a perspective that isn't currently there? And do I think I would ask different questions that are currently being asked? And the answer was yes. And for me, that's what it comes down to. I don't believe that there is any one particular fabulous best candidate. I think that we need to try to tackle things from as many different perspectives and angles as possible so that we make fewer mistakes as we grow, and then when we do make those mistakes, hopefully they're smaller and more easy to solve. You know, you go out in the community and whether you're talking at an event or you're, you know, door knocking, the community knows what they want. Sometimes what they want is contradictory, but they know what they want. And the Park District is really committed to trying to make as much of what they want happen as possible. So I think for the Park Board to be at its most effective in that center liaison place is to have not only committed people, but a diversity of ideas and approaches to bring to the table. And that is what I'm hoping to bring if I'm elected in June. So.